Imagine waking up to palm trees swaying outside your window, sunshine pouring through your blinds, and the sound of birds, not traffic, greeting the day. Now imagine doing all of that without going broke. Sounds impossible, right? Well, welcome to Florida's most affordable side, where beach breezes, lakeside mornings, and easy living come with price tags that actually make sense. In today's video, we're counting down the 10 cheapest places to live in Florida in 2026. Places where your money stretches further, your pace slows down, and that Florida dream doesn't require winning the lottery. From quiet panhandle towns tucked under oak trees to hidden coastal communities still flying under the radar, these are the corners of the Sunshine State that prove affordable. Paradise is still alive and well. We'll explore what makes each city special, the housing costs, the quality of life, the local vibe, and maybe even a few secrets the travel brochures forgot to mention. By the end, you might just find your next hometown hiding somewhere between the swamps, springs, and sparkling shores of Florida. Before we dive in, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below where you'd love to live in Florida. Your engagement really helps the channel grow, and hey, I always love hearing which spot surprises you most. Alright, grab a glass of sweet tea and let's explore 10 places in Florida where you can actually afford to live the good life. St. Petersburg, Florida. Rounding things out is St. Petersburg. Yes, that's St. Petersburg, where some zip codes make beach-adjacent living more budget-friendly than you'd expect. Nestled between Tampa Bay and the Gulf of Mexico, St. Pete is the rare Florida city that feels both like a vacation and a bargain. Known as the Sunshine City for its 361 days of annual sun, it somehow manages to deliver coastal charm without the coastal price tag. While Miami and Naples are pricing out even the seagulls, St. Pete's median home value hovers around $360,000. That's still well below the statewide average for major coastal metros. Renters can find one-bedroom apartments for under $2,500, and utilities and groceries cost roughly 8% less than in Orlando. Not exactly free, but for a place where you can walk to the beach after work, it's shockingly attainable. And this isn't one of those cheap because it's crumbling towns. St. Pete has spent the last decade reinventing itself. Once a sleepy retirement hub, it's now a magnet for young professionals, remote workers, and artists who realized they could trade overpriced city rents for ocean breezes and murals. Downtown buzzes with craft coffee spots, art galleries, and open-air markets. Yet just a few blocks away, leafy neighborhoods like Kenwood and Euclid St. Paul's stay quiet and neighborly. You get the vibrancy without the chaos. A rare Florida balance. Economically, St. Petersburg punches well above its weight. The job market has been growing steadily thanks to expanding sectors in healthcare, finance, and tech. Major employers like Johns Hopkins, All Children's Hospital, and Raymond James Financial keep the local economy grounded. And because Florida doesn't take a bite out of your paycheck with state income tax, every dollar stretches further. The city's average commute time sits at just over 20 minutes, leaving plenty of daylight for kayaking, fishing, or simply pretending you're on permanent vacation. Quality of life here runs deep. The crime rate has been trending downward. Air quality is high, and you'll find parks sprinkled everywhere, over 150 of them. The Pier District, a stunning reimagining of St. Pete's waterfront, offers panoramic views, casual dining, and concerts under the stars. It's the kind of place where you can grab a taco, watch dolphins arc through the bay, and briefly forget you're living somewhere so affordable. If Florida's coastal dream usually feels out of reach, St. Petersburg is the exception. It's sunny, spirited, and refreshingly within budget. A city where your savings account doesn't have to melt faster than your ice cream. Sebring, Florida. In Sebring, the slogan might as well be affordability with palm trees. A surprising find inland in the Sunshine State. Tucked right in the middle of Florida, Sebring is the kind of place that doesn't shout for attention. It just quietly wins people over with charm, sunshine, and shockingly low prices. It's nicknamed the City on the Circle because of its unique downtown layout, a perfectly round central boulevard that feels like a time capsule from mid-century America. But what really draws people in is how much life you can afford here. The median home price sits around $240,000, and rental prices are nearly 30% below the state average. Groceries, utilities, and transportation all cost less than in most Florida metros, which makes Sebring one of the best kept affordability secrets in the state. While it's inland, Sebring still has that Florida magic: palm trees, warm breezes, and glittering lakes in every direction. Lake Jackson, the massive 9,000-acre body of water that hugs downtown, is the centerpiece of local life. Boating, kayaking, and sunset strolls here cost exactly $0. And when you do want salt water, both coasts are within a 2-hour drive. Easy day trip territory. The weather is classic Central Florida. Mild winters in the 60s, hot but manageable summers in the 90s, and more than 250 sunny days a year. Hurricanes tend to lose steam before reaching this far inland, so it's also one of the safer bets for weather-conscious movers. Economically, Sebring is small but steady. It's anchored by healthcare, light manufacturing, and agriculture. Citrus country, to be exact. Advent Health Sebring is the city's top employer, and local small businesses thrive on tourism and retirees. The population, hovering near 11,000, is a mix of lifelong residents, snowbirds, and people escaping high-priced metros like Tampa and Miami. With Florida's no-income tax perk, retirees and remote workers alike can stretch their savings without sacrificing comfort. Life here moves slower, but in the best possible way. Downtown Sebring has vintage diners, family-run shops, and an old-school theater that still lights up at night. Every January, the city hosts the 12 Hours of Sebring, one of the world's most famous endurance car races. And during a race week, this quiet lake town absolutely comes alive. The rest of the year, it's calm, clean, and affordable. If your Florida dream involves sunshine, small-town comfort, and a mortgage that doesn't keep you awake at night, Sebring checks every box. It's proof that paradise doesn't have to come with ocean views. Sometimes it's waiting by a lake with room to breathe and a price tag that actually makes sense. Pensacola, Florida. Down in the Gulf Coast region, Pensacola proves you don't have to sell a kidney to live near the beach in Florida. Perched on the state's far northwest edge, Pensacola feels like its own little world, a place where emerald water, white sand, and small-town friendliness meet real affordability. It's one of Florida's oldest cities, but also one of its most overlooked bargains. The median home price hovers around $275,000, which is practically unheard of for a city with beaches that look like postcards. Renters can still find one-bedroom apartments under $200, and groceries, utilities, and healthcare all cost below the national average. In other words, it's possible to live by the sea without your bank account waving a white flag. And it's not just cheap, it's beautiful. Pensacola Beach is regularly ranked among the best in the country, with its pure quartz sand that squeaks underfoot and turquoise water that rivals the Caribbean. Unlike South Florida's crowded coasts, these beaches are peaceful, clean, and often nearly empty outside of tourist season. Residents joke that they live where other Floridians vacation, and they're not wrong. The inland neighborhoods full of oak-lined streets and 19th century homes give off an old-soul southern charm that's rare this close to the beach. Pensacola's economy runs deeper than tourism. The Naval Air Station Pensacola anchors the city, employing thousands and supporting a healthy network of schools, contractors, and small businesses. Healthcare, education, and tech jobs have been steadily growing, and the unemployment rate stays comfortably below the national average. With Florida's zero state income tax, even modest salaries stretch further. Add in short 20-minute average commutes, and you've got a city where daily life actually feels manageable. Culturally, Pensacola punches well above its size. The downtown district has been completely revitalized, packed with art galleries, food trucks, breweries, and live music every weekend. The historic Seville Quarter is full of brick alleys, wrought iron balconies, and Spanish influence from the city's 450-year-old roots. Festivals like the Pensacola Seafood Festival and the Blue Angels Air Show keep the community buzzing with life. and remind you that this isn't some forgotten beach town. It's a proud and growing coastal city. For nature lovers, you've got endless outdoor escapes, kayaking through coastal bays, fishing off piers, or hiking the dunes of the Gulf Islands National Seashore. Winters stay mild, rarely dipping below the 50s, and summers are warm, but tempered by Gulf breezes. Pensacola isn't just affordable, but it's authentic. It's where locals still wave at strangers, seafood is caught the same day you eat it, and life slows down just enough to actually enjoy it. For anyone dreaming of beach living without bankruptcy, Pensacola quietly delivers the Florida fantasy at a fraction of the price. Lakeland, Florida. Closer to Central Florida, Lakeland gives you lakes, swans, and a cost of living under the state average. Yes, really. If Florida had a Goldilocks zone, Lakeland would be it. Not too big, not too small, and definitely not too expensive. Located almost perfectly between Tampa and Orlando, Lakeland offers that sweet spot where you can reach big city excitement in under an hour, but still come home to quiet streets and a mortgage that doesn't demand a second job. The median home price sits around $315,000, well below the state average, and the overall cost of living is about 10% lower than the Florida mean. Renters find decent apartments for $400 or less, and groceries, utilities, and healthcare are refreshingly reasonable. True to its name, Lakeland is a city built around water. 38 named lakes to be exact, and nearly every neighborhood has its own waterfront walking trail or fishing pier. The crown jewel is Lake Morton, where you'll find the city's famous white swans, a gift, by the way, from Queen Elizabeth in the 1950s. The whole place feels like a real-life screensaver. Glassy lakes, sprawling oaks, and sunsets that make you pull over just to stare. But don't mistake Lakeland for sleepy. This mid-sized city is buzzing quietly in the background of Florida's growth story. Its downtown has been completely revitalized with coffee shops, breweries, and a growing art scene. The city's location makes it a logistics hub. Amazon, Publix, and FedEx all have major distribution centers here, keeping unemployment low and wages steady. Healthcare and education are strong too, with institutions like Southeastern University and Lakeland Regional Health anchoring the economy. Commuting here is another pleasant surprise. Average drive times sit around 22 minutes, and traffic rarely approaches the gridlock found in Orlando or Tampa. Lakeland's central position also means weekend getaways are easy. Beaches, theme parks, and springs are all just a short drive away. Yet back home, the vibe remains relaxed, friendly, and distinctly Floridian without the chaos. Culturally, Lakeland leans classic. There's the historic Polk Theater built in the 1920s with old Hollywood flair, the weekly farmers market, and annual events like the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo, where jets paint the sky with color. Add in a low crime rate, walkable neighborhoods, and strong community pride, and you've got a city that feels both safe and connected. Lakeland is proof you don't need to trade affordability for beauty or convenience. It's the Florida most people don't see, yeah? One where the air smells like orange blossoms, the lakes shimmer at dusk, and your paycheck actually gets you somewhere. For anyone searching for balance between city energy and suburban peace, Lakeland lands perfectly in the middle, right where Florida living feels just right. Lake City, Florida. Heading slightly east, Lake City offers a surprisingly low cost of living just off major highways, a real gateway to savings. Welcome to North Florida's Crossroads, a small but mighty city that quietly holds its own against the state's expensive coastal giants. With a median home price of around $240,000 and rent prices averaging under maybe $200 a month, Lake City sits comfortably among Florida's most affordable places to live. It's known as the Gateway to Florida because it's the first major city you hit when crossing the Georgia line. But for many Floridians, it's also a gateway to homeownership without financial heartburn. Lake City is where rural peace meets practical convenience. It's tucked at the intersection of Interstates 75 and 10, which means you're only an hour from Gainesville and about 90 minutes from Jacksonville or Tallahassee. That makes it a smart base for commuters or remote workers who want country calm with city access. But what really surprises newcomers is how much you get for your money here. Wide lots, quiet neighborhoods, and oak-lined streets that still feel like old Florida. Groceries, healthcare, and transportation all sit below national averages, and Florida's no-income tax policy stretches paychecks even further. Life in Lake City moves at a slower, steadier rhythm. You'll find locals fishing on Lake DeSoto, shopping at the weekly farmers market, or sipping sweet tea on wraparound porches that look straight out of a southern postcard. The climate is warm but mild compared to South Florida. Winters in the 50s, summers in the 90s. And because the city sits inland, hurricane threats are far less severe. You might trade ocean breezes for pine forests, but your insurance premiums will thank you. Economically, Lake City has been holding strong thanks to logistics, manufacturing, and healthcare. It's home to a major VA medical center, several distribution facilities, and a growing number of small businesses drawn by low overhead. Unemployment stays below the national average, and new development projects have been modernizing the downtown area while keeping its historic charm intact. Culturally, it's that classic small-town mix of friendliness and familiarity. Locals gather for the All-Estai Battle Festival, a Civil War reenactment that doubles as a community celebration, and the Lake City Columbia County Fair, which brings out every food truck, craftsman, and fiddler in the region. Schools are well rated, crime remains below the state average, and commutes are refreshingly short. Lake City isn't glamorous, and that's exactly the appeal. It's affordable, safe, and surrounded by natural beauty, from the Ichetucknee Springs to the Osceola National Forest, just a short drive away. For anyone dreaming of a quieter, simpler Florida that doesn't break the bank, Lake City might just be the hidden doorway into that life, where savings and sunshine meet at every turn. Lafayette County, Florida. Lafayette County is tiny, tranquil, and among the most under-the-radar, inexpensive places in the state. With fewer than 9,000 residents, Lafayette County feels more like an extended neighborhood than a county. Tucked deep in Northa, Florida's Suwannee River Valley. This place is the definition of slow living. Think front porches, oak canopies, and nights quiet enough to hear the frogs. But the real reason people are starting to pay attention? It's one of the cheapest places to live in all of Florida. The median home price sits around $180,000, and property taxes are among the lowest in the state. You can still find acres of land here for what a parking spot costs in Miami. The county seat, Mayo, is a postcard-sized town with a population hovering around 1-200. It's the kind of place where everyone waves, the diner waitress knows your order by week 2, and the local high school football game still draws half the town. While it's small, it's not isolated. U.S. Highway 27 runs straight through, connecting you to Lake City, Perry, and Gainesville in under an hour. Groceries, utilities, and gas all come in well below national averages. And because Florida doesn't have a state income tax, your money stretches even further. Nature is the county's luxury, and it's free. The Suwannee River, which forms Lafayette's northern border, offers miles of kayaking, fishing, and camping spots. The Troy Springs State Park is a local favorite, with its crystal clear water and underwater remains of a Civil War steamboat. Even the commute to anywhere is scenic. Rolling farmland, pine forests, and skies so wide, you'll forget what traffic feels like. The economy here may be small, but it's steady. Agriculture leads the way, and especially timber, livestock, and crops, supported by public sector jobs in schools, healthcare, and local government. Broadband expansion and remote work have started to bring in new residents who love the peace but still need to plug into the outside world. And because housing is so cheap, retirees and telecommuters can live comfortably without a high income. Lafayette County's appeal isn't about nightlife or shopping malls. It's about affordability, freedom, and fresh air. It's for people who want to own land, raise a family, or simply slow down, without signing over half their paycheck. If Florida often feels overcrowded and overpriced, Lafayette is the antidote. No traffic, no noise, and no rush, just small-town calm at a fraction of the cost. Here, time moves gently. Your neighbors know your name, and affordable living isn't a slogan. It's the lifestyle. Jackson County, Florida. Jackson County may not have beachfront views, but with median home prices barely over 100K, it sure has budget views. Welcome to Florida's quiet northwest corner where affordability still feels like a local tradition. Jackson County sits right along the Alabama line, surrounded by farmland, rivers, and small towns that look like something out of an Americana painting. The median home price is around $140,000, one of the lowest in the entire state. Renters can snag a two-bedroom for under $900 a month, and utilities, groceries, and transportation all come in well below both state and national averages. For anyone looking to own property or escape sky-high housing costs, Jackson County is the kind of place that makes you double-check the math. The county seat, Mariana, is a small but sturdy town of about 6,000 people. Its historic downtown is lined with brick storefronts, old churches, and a sense of calm that most big cities forgot how to have. You won't find skyscrapers or tech hubs here, but you'll find something far more valuable than community. Locals still gather for parades, county fairs, and Friday night football. It's the kind of place where rush hour means 3 cars at a red light, and where the loudest sound most evenings is the crickets. Don't mistake quiet for boring, though. Jackson County is packed with natural beauty, especially the Florida Cavern State Park, home to the only publicly accessible dry caverns in the state. Visitors can explore shimmering stalactites and underground limestone passages before kayaking the Chipola River right above them. There are freshwater springs, hiking trails, and wildlife preserves everywhere, making it a haven for outdoorsy types who prefer birdsong to beach traffic. Economically, Jackson County is small but stable. Agriculture, manufacturing, and healthcare form the backbone, while the county's low cost of living attracts retirees, small business owners, and remote workers alike. The average commute time is just 19 minutes, and even entry-level jobs can go further here thanks to Florida's lack of state income tax. Broadband expansion has been improving rapidly, opening the door for digital nomads who crave space and simplicity. Crime rates are below the state average, and locals take pride in keeping the area clean, safe, and welcoming. Schools are small but tight-knit, with plenty of community involvement. Life here isn't flashy, but that's the point. Jackson County is where affordability meets authenticity. No oceanfront condos, no city sprawl, just quiet neighborhoods, open fields, and a cost of living so low it almost feels vintage. For anyone chasing that old-school Florida piece with a modern price tag, this is where your dollar goes farther. And your blood pressure goes lower. Taylor County, Florida. In Taylor County, you'll find the phrase, cheap place to live, doesn't mean no character. Timber, springs, and affordability merge here. Stretching along Florida's Big Bend region, Taylor County sits halfway between the Gulf and the deep woods, where salt air and pine scent mingle in the same breeze. It's a place that still feels proudly rural, the kind of Florida where people wave from their trucks and front porches still have rocking chairs. But behind that small-town charm lies one of the state's best-kept financial secrets. The median home price sits around $160,000, and rent for a two-bedroom can land under $950. Groceries, gas, and utilities all fall comfortably below the national average, and the overall cost of living is nearly 25% lower than Florida's urban centers. The county seat, Perry, is a cozy little city of roughly 7,000 residents. Big enough for modern essentials, small enough that you'll run into someone you know at the grocery store every time. Perry's roots run deep in the timber industry, and you can still see that legacy in the sprawling sawmills and thick forests that surround the town. Today, those forests also mean plenty of outdoor recreation. Acanfina River State Park and Forest Capital Museum State Park offer hiking trails, wildlife, and kayaking routes that wind through pristine, spring-fed rivers. And if you follow US Highway 98 south, you'll reach the Keaton Beach area, a small coastal gem beloved by locals for its fishing, sunsets, and serenity. Economically, Taylor County moves at a steady, sustainable pace. Forestry and paper manufacturing remain anchors, joined by growing healthcare and service sectors. The unemployment rate consistently trends below the state average, and thanks to Florida's zero state income tax, even modest salaries go further. Broadband access has expanded, attracting a trickle of remote workers and retirees who prefer open space to city stress. Commutes average under 15 minutes, which means less time in traffic and more time actually enjoying life. Community is the glue here. The Florida Forest Festival, held every October, brings together locals for logging competitions, food stalls, and parades. A perfect snapshot of small town pride. Schools are small but spirited, and crime rates stay below state averages. Perry's downtown has even begun a quiet revival, with new cafes and boutiques breathing life into its historic brick buildings. Taylor County won't dazzle you with nightlife or luxury condos. That's not its game. What it offers instead is balance, clean air, low costs, and a rhythm that feels refreshingly human. You can own a home, be near both forests and the Gulf, and still have enough left over for weekend adventures. If Florida's coastal chaos ever feels overwhelming, Taylor County is the reset button. An unpretentious, affordable slice of the Sunshine State where life still moves to the sound of crickets, not car horns. Dixie County, Florida. Next up is Dixie County. Yes, that's its real name, where rural charm and low home prices come together under the cypress trees. Welcome to one of Florida's last true frontiers, a pocket of unspoiled nature tucked between the Suwannee River and the Gulf of Mexico. Dixie County feels like a Florida time capsule. Small towns, dirt roads, and sunsets over the marsh that could make a poet out of anyone. But the real magic? It's one of the most affordable coastal counties in the entire state. The median home price sits around $190,000, and property taxes are comfortably low. Renters can still find full houses for under $1,000 a month, and the overall cost of living is about 20% below Florida's average. It's the kind of place where you can own land, hear crickets at night, and still afford dinner out once in a while, all without trading your peace of mind. The heart of the county is Cross City, a small, friendly town with just over 1,700 residents. It's got everything you need: local diners, small shops, and the kind of southern hospitality that's nearly extinct elsewhere. But the real attraction lies in the great outdoors. Dixie County sits at the meeting point of rivers, springs, and coastline, making it a paradise for nature lovers. The Lower Suwannee National Wildlife Refuge stretches across 53,000 acres of protected wetlands, perfect for kayaking, birdwatching, and lazy weekend picnics. Head south and you'll hit Horseshoe Beach, a sleepy Gulfside fishing town where homes perch on stilts and life moves with the tide. It's a rare Florida coastal community that's still affordable, unpretentious, and peaceful. The local economy here runs on simplicity: forestry, fishing, farming, and small business. It's not flashy, but it's steady. The unemployment rate trends near the state average, and the low cost of living keeps things balanced. Many residents are self-employed or work remotely, drawn by the slower pace and natural surroundings. The schools are small but community-driven, and safety is one of Dixie County's biggest perks. Crime rates here are significantly below the state average. Life in Dixie County isn't about convenience, it's about contentment. You won't find big malls or nightclubs, but you will find farmers markets, front porch conversations, and starlit skies that feel impossibly bright. When you need city access, Gainesville is only about an hour and a half away. Close enough for errands, far enough to preserve the quiet. If you've ever dreamed of waking up to mist rising over River Cypress or catching your own dinner from a dock at sunset, Dixie County might be your answer. It's rustic, real, and refreshingly affordable. A slice of old Florida that time didn't quite catch, and your wallet will thank you for finding. Holmes County, Florida. Let's kick things off in the far north panhandle, where Holmes County offers you a whole lot of Florida for remarkably little money. Tucked along the Alabama border, Holmes County is the kind of place where Florida's pace slows to a gentle heartbeat. No traffic jams, no overpriced condos, just rolling hills, pine forests, and a cost of living so low it almost sounds made up. The median home price sits around $150,000, and many properties come with acres of land. Rent for a modest home averages about $850 a month, and groceries, healthcare, and utilities all come in far below state and national averages. In a state where affordable often means nowhere near the beach, Holmes County somehow keeps its prices low without feeling like exile. The county seat, Bonifay, is a small, friendly town with about 3,000 residents and a rhythm that feels like it's been steady for a century. It's the kind of place where the biggest event of the year is the Northwest Florida Championship Rodeo, and people actually show up to watch the parade. Downtown Bonifay is lined with local diners, thrift shops, and a handful of brick buildings that give off small-town Americana energy. You won't find nightlife here, unless you count catching fireflies on the porch. But that's exactly why many people move here. Despite its quiet image, Holmes County has real advantages for everyday life. It's just 40 minutes from Panama City Beach and about an hour from Dothan, Alabama, so you can hit the coast or a major shopping area without turning it into a road trip. Commutes are short, usually under 20 minutes, and crime rates remain well below the state average. The economy leans on education, healthcare, agriculture, and light manufacturing, small industries that keep things stable. Broadband access has expanded in recent years, attracting remote workers who realized they could trade high-rent apartments for a few peaceful acres and a much fatter savings account. The scenery here is quietly beautiful. Holmes Creek winds through cypress forests, perfect for kayaking or paddleboarding. The Ponce de Leon Spring State Park offers clear, blue, 68-degree water year-round, and weekends often mean hiking, fishing, or picnicking under the oaks. Winters are mild, summers are warm, and because the county sits inland, hurricane damage is rare. Life in Holmes County is refreshingly simple, not dull, just unhurried. It's a place where affordable doesn't mean sacrifice. You get community, safety, nature, and enough elbow room to actually enjoy them. If you're dreaming of Florida living without Florida prices, Holmes County is proof that paradise doesn't have to come with a mortgage that haunts you. It's small-town sunshine at its purest, and your wallet will feel lighter just being here. And there you have it, 10 of the cheapest places to live in Florida for 2026. From the hidden hills of Holmes County to the sunny streets of St. Petersburg, each of these towns proves you don't have to drain your savings to enjoy the Florida dream. Whether you're after quiet springs, Gulf sunsets, or a front porch under the oaks, there's a corner of the Sunshine State where affordability still shines as bright as the weather. Florida's reputation might lean toward luxury, beachfront mansions, sky-high condos, endless resort towns. But dig a little deeper, and you'll find communities where the cost of living stays low, the pace stays human, and the quality of life stays high. These are the places where you can actually afford to breathe, to slow down, and to live the kind of days most people only take vacations for. So, which of these Florida gems would you call home? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear which city surprised you most, or where you'd pack up and move tomorrow if you could. If you enjoyed this journey through Florida's affordable side, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss another video just like this one. Thanks for watching. And remember, sometimes paradise doesn't have to cost a fortune. It just takes knowing where to look.